Okay, but that seems to have helped some. No, no, no. Okay, it seems to have helped some. My ping is
Okay.
only like 130 now instead of 1300.
Hey,
That's
that's
good.
uh
Yeah. All right. Welcome to week 3, Marquee. Commentating with me today, I have Goose and Alix. Hello, boys.
what's up, Jesse?
Hi, Jesse.
Um, Today we've got a great matchup. We've got Linnos and Swallow Your Mom, otherwise known as the Big Green, I believe. And An exciting Trick Room versus Sick Room matchup today. Any thoughts on the 6 Pokemon that they've brought today, boys?
Yeah, so I
Yeah, I've
actually
got
helped.
some thoughts. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Alex. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I actually helped DeGreen, aka Swallow Out Your Mom, prep for this. Don't want to spoil anything. There is a specific interaction that may occur in this match, so be on the lookout for that. All I can say is Lenos' team does a lot of damage.
Sounds good. All right, I'm gonna give him the go ahead. And what do you think our leads are gonna be, Goose?
Incineroar and X. Probably Silvally because he runs Icy Wind. Well, actually, there's no reason to run Icy Wind anymore because he's playing in a Sick Room team. But Incineroar is just a great lead. Maybe he goes for Incineroar and like Lando so he can try and kill Hatterene before she gets Trick Room off with Sludge Bomb. I don't know. Many things. He could be going for some terrible pledge strategy. I'm so sick of swamp.
Okay,
All right,
this
it's
is
Incineroar and Noivern.
yeah, this is giving Fake Out and Tailwind vibes.
Yeah. I don't think the sneaky slapper gets Trick Room. I could be wrong.
I have
Do you
used
know?
that Pokemon a couple of seasons before. I can confirm that it does not get access to Trick Room. However, it does get Ally Switch, which is pretty interesting.
But from my remembering of random battles, I think Glastrier doesn't either, but Glastrier with the Calyrex on it does. So I guess he's
Right.
not trying to set it with his lead, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think he's just taking a look here, seeing what's going on. I'm expecting to see either a protect or a switch out from Glacier this turn.
Um,
I lied. My goodness.
Oh wow. Big close combat straight into the Incineroar. He said, I don't care about your fake out. I'm just gonna kill you.
it was
Yeah.
it was it kind of shocked me that Linus left Incineroar in front of the sneaky Slappa, considering it's a fighting type into a dark type with no Terra. He knows that it has inner focus because Intimidate didn't proc, but maybe he just didn't care that much. He thinks he's in a better situation if he could just get Tailwind up and sack Incineroar
I'm also a
and
little
get to
surprised.
Lori the Scizor.
Yeah, I'm also a little surprised that he didn't go for Fake Out into the Sneaky Slappa, considering that Noivern is always going to outspeed Glacier and get Tailwind up. I also imagine
Well,
that Noivern has Focus Sash, so that was a really interesting play.
not to make fun of the commentator, but inner focus prevents crit flinches, Jesse. So
I forgot
it
the
would
game
not have done
mechanics.
anything.
Yeah, you've got me there, Chief.
Wow. And that burn making a
That was a
huge difference
really
this turn.
lucky
10%
bird.
chance. We don't know if it had a sash. Judging by Lenos' game one play, I'm willing to bet that it has a cloak. Or turn one play, rather.
Yeah, the burn was huge, especially it's a 10% chance to burn, 90% chance to hit. I can't believe Neuverd's so frail that he still almost died anyway. It is what it is.
Alright, we got a huge speed
Ah,
advantage on Lenos' side. Might see a defensive Terra on the side of the green here.
yeah, I don't. Hattery does get Mystical Fire, which would definitely one-shot Scizor wants to go for it. Or you could just try and set Trick Room. Never a bad time for it.
Yeah, either way,
But if
both
he
of his
doesn't
Pokemon
Terra
are,
Hatterene, it could just die to
yeah,
Scizor.
seriously both in danger here.
Hatterene does have some decent bulk. It's not the best. We might be able to live one hit from
Yeah,
Scizor.
it should be able to survive a bullet punch. and whatever Batman is gonna do to it,
I'm really
unless
I'm
he's got
questioning what
some band.
the fourth Pokemon for Swallow Your Mom is here.
Now, if I were a betting man, which I'm not,
Mm, 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 mm.
I
Speak
think
to
it's
that.
probably Xurkitree.
Yeah, I was thinking it's probably Xurkitree. I can't imagine Staraptor being in the back here.
Linnos knows
Oh,
he missed. Like he
okay, he
knows
did
that
Terra
Hattery gets
Water.
mystical fire,
Yeah.
Yep.
so he goes ahead and Terra Waters.
Confirmed.
I'm almost positive that Dual Wing Beat would have killed Hattery.
Oh,
Oh
wait a
my
minute.
god, healer!
Wait a minute. The healer proc. We also get the
Our,
attack boost. We're back to neutral.
our tech has been spoiled. I'm gonna go ahead and explain the healer there. We knew that if we kept Magic Bounce, he could parting shot into it and force it out. And we didn't want that to happen. So, but we can't have that surprise go off anymore. But honestly, perfect circumstance for that to get spoiled. Another
Linus
miss.
is having
Oh,
some bad luck with the hits this game.
just a
Old Great
little.
White certainly dies to Sandseer Storm if that goes off.
Absolutely.
Ah,
And Glastrier has hit 3 Icicle Crashes in a row.
That dual wing beat miss
well,
was a little suspect as well.
we have slow, specially frail Scizor in front of Xurkitree.
Water
It's
type
over.
Scizor.
It's over.
Water type
Yep.
Scizor. Don't forget.
Yes, yes. You know, Linus had some bad luck. I think Lando probably could have clutched it out if he had hit the Sandseer Storm on Old Great White, but I mean that's what happens when you run inaccurate moves. You're playing that risk every time you hit one.
Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of the guys would find a lot more success in our league if they just hit their inaccurate moves. That's a strategy that I've gone for many seasons in the past, and it usually works out. So I think it's really just like a frame of mind difference, you know?
Linus usually goes for that too. I've seen him run Blizzard legitimately many a time, but this time it's just not working out for him. He can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah, it's really all
And
about
of
the
course, the
game
one time
sense.
Yeah, you have to know going in whether it's one of those days that you're going to be able to hit those moves or not hit those moves and plan accordingly.
Especially something I ran into when I was looking into Linus's team is he has many Pokemon that are quad weak to things. Quad weak to Ice, both Lando and Noivern, quad weak Fire, Scizor. His team is full of Pokemon that are begging for Terra, but you can only use it one time. So
Yeah, and we know that Linnos comes from the quad weak Pokemon are actually really good clan.
he is a loyal member of Team Kaiju,
That's right.
and you can tell based on the number of quad weak Pokemon he's drafted.
Indeed. And this should be a very volatile game too. A lot of information passed around both ways. I think Linnos probably got a bit more. Um, so let's see how DeGreen adjusts going into game 2.
And not knowing if Noivern is Sash or not, it's a really big deal. Honestly, if I'm Linus, I might not want to change very much. The I mean, he had control of that game, other than a few misses right until the very end. So I'm not surprised to see a mix-up from the green one. Okay, this adrenaline orb
Confirmed.
is
Actually,
adrenaline orb.
it was confirmed last game. We just didn't see it.
That is going
Oh
to
wait,
be a speedy tree.
nah, I misread.
I would not be surprised to just see a Terra very dazzling gleam right here.
Yeah, that would hit like a truck.
I don't really think Incineroar is going to be spec'd to one-shot the weird Shaka either. I just realized that they all have Da names.
Yep.
No,
He
wait, no, they
loves his
don't.
DAW names.
Yep.
Old Great White was different. I
I
apologize.
really enjoy the sneaky slapper. I think that's my favorite one so far.
It is
Um,
pretty sneaky, you have to admit.
I think
He's hiding his hands behind his longer hands.
Yeah, I think you're right here, Goose. I definitely think we're gonna see Dazzling Gleam, and I think a cheeky little fake out into Incineroar here is gonna really get some mileage in this turn one.
Yeah, you could even fake out.
That is
It's Terra
Ice.
Ice. Linnos does
Terra
not
Ice,
know.
Terra Blast.
Linnos does not know what Inner Focus does, but neither did you,
Wow.
Jesse. So
I
you can't
tried to.
really blame him for that.
I'm nothing if not a method commentator. I really get into the headspace of our marquee matchup uh, players, and I just wanted to really try and bring some perspective from their point of view.
Ah, I see. I see. You're role playing. You knew what Inner Focus did the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why else would I be on commentary?
Let's see if Linnos keeps in mind one of the moves revealed by Mienshao last game. I believe he did reveal yes. So he
He did
used
reveal allies. Quick guard.
Quick guard last game. I know the bullet punch into the weird shaka looks so juicy here.
With Tailwind up, I mean, we could be seeing any kind of steel move.
You might just have close combat. Sizzler's run that with some amount of frequency. Batmeg will probably air slash into Sneaky Slappa. Knowing Linus, it might be Hurricane because he's a madman. But who knows? Linus definitely has full control of speed right now. Even though the weird shock and got his adrenaline or proc, Tailwind is just more impactful. Linus is thinking up a storm though. The green one made his move instantly.
He's locked in. He's locked and loaded.
Never mind. He
He's
unclicked
back.
it.
He's back.
He's back to thinking.
He's back in the tank.
Oh, could be second guessing himself. Many have fallen prey to this little trick.
There's quick
He
guard.
does decide to go for the quick
There's
guard.
heat wave. It does not kill. That is a shocker.
We are getting some. Yeah, there's the close combat.
Yep.
We did get some kind of interesting information. Linus is running such low speed on Sizzler that under Tailwind, Circuitry still outsped
With one
Sizzler.
boost, yeah.
Okay, so no
Dabiki
Terra
boy.
on the side of the green one, and
Yeah.
Old Great White is weak to just about every move that Sizzler has. The
This
Beaky
is,
Boy is
yeah.
not. The Beaky Boy at least gets an Intimidate off on Sizzler, which could be pretty impactful.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the Beaky Boy is here for a good time, not a long time. We do have old Great White, who cannot get into Trick Room, so he will be moving last almost assuredly every single turn.
I
I'm
think
interesting which one of Linnos's last two Pokemon is going to. I believe he hasn't used Terra yet. Yes.
Correct.
he has not used Terra now.
Yeah. I'm assuming it will be Landorus I.
This might be hater talk, but I think I just double swing into Landorus right here.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And there's the. Oh, that's really interesting.
He
Yep,
does get the
and it's resistant,
Terrifier.
and that will almost certainly spell defeat for old Great White.
Yeah, I don't really think that there's a way out of it. He has to deal with both of them. Linus goes
He's
for the 80% accurate sand through storm. He has learned nothing. He has learned absolutely nothing.
Oh man,
The only
that was
way that
sweet.
Linus can lose that game is for going with the 80% accurate move, and he did. But he was not punished. We're going to a game 3.
What kind of lead switch up do you think we're gonna get from the green here?
Honestly, I think his big mistake last game was, in my opinion, is Incineroar was not the threat right there. If he had faked out using Mienshao into Noivern and Ice Blasted it, Terra Ice Blast, Tailwind doesn't come up. You have speed control for the rest of the game. All those Pokemon aren't near as threatening. I think if you just do the same thing and make sure Noivern doesn't go up, This is the Jessica lead. You led this about 20 games last season. That's what he's
Yeah,
gonna do.
and yeah, so this is a really, really easy lead. What you do is you lead these two Pokemon, and then you go 0 and 10 in your season.
See if he knows how to pilot it just like you do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the hardest thing to pilot, to be honest with you. I was very, very consistent when leading these two Pokemon.
You know, I think Linus might have been wanting to go for pledge strats or something with this lead with grass pledge and water pledge.
The
But there's no way
problem,
he tries to set swamp in front of Hattery.
yeah, the problem
Yeah,
with that is that Hatterene is not weak to either of those, so it's kind of looking a little threatening on the field right now.
Yeah, I mean Moonblast definitely kills the sneaky Slappa, but he does have Sash. I'm near positive, right? Confirm that for me.
correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Oh, were the replays being sent? I might have to go do that really fast.
I have the game still up, so there's no worries
Okay,
there.
yeah. All right, we'll get back to commentating. I mean, I'd really am curious what Linus is gonna do here. For me, if I'm in the green one spot, I just rip a fake out into probably Hatterene and try and set Trick Room. It is really interesting. I feel like everyone just expects Hatterene to be running Magic Bounce, so you don't pack Taunt on anything anyway.
Right.
Because who be running Healer?
There's parting shot into of all things the sneaky Slappa. This is definitely Trick Room.
Okay, he's running Covert Cloak on Primarina. I could not think of the Pokemon's name for a second. Which he did against me as well, so that's a pretty common strategy for him.
Yeah.
He does get the Hyper Voice, which does quite a bit of damage to the Sneaky Slappa, but he does get the Trick Room up. Scizor is painfully slow in running Terra Water. There's no way he leaves this thing in against Mystical Fire. I just refuse to believe he'll do it. I, I think he goes Terra Water, Bullet Punch. He does. But he could be afraid of Quick Guard.
Yeah.
I think Linnos is actually looking pretty good in this particular turn. He's got a lot of things that he can do, both offensively and defensively, with the two Pokemon he has on the field. Sneaky Slappa is kind of out of options. He's either Quick Guard or locking into a turn and going down so that Glastrier comes in. Or locking into a move, rather.
Right.
Hatterene, it's kind of spooky to go for Mystical Fire into that Scizor knowing that he's Terra Water. But on the other side, Dazzling Gleam is not going to do a single thing to the two Pokemon that's facing it.
It's really interesting because if he Terras, he does go for
Oh
Bullet Punch.
wow.
And there's
Oh
the
Despite
fire.
wow.
Wow, okay,
he,
fair
he
enough.
didn't Terra Water. He's a madman.
He
He's
is a madman.
crazy for that
Yeah, I
one.
can't believe he did that, Goose. That's
And the
crazy.
energy ball. That makes me think he
Doesn't have
maybe
a.
was reading a Terra Water onto his side.
Was he reading Terra Water Ally Switch? I don't know. My I'm so confused by this.
Maybe thinking a little too hard.
He could have just been trying to outpredict him. That definitely happens sometimes.
This is starting to get a little spooky, since both of our Pokemon are a little low, and we haven't been able to get Glastrier out onto the field while Trick Room is up yet.
The Screechin' Hat does get at least moves that can hit both these Pokemon neutrally.
Yes.
I don't remember its exact moveset. I doubt it's carrying Thunderbolt, but
Yeah,
it does
that would.
get that if it wanted to hit Primarina.
There's
Alright.
Okay, he's
a
just switching
swap
it out.
switch. We'll see. Oh
Bit of a gleam
no!
here.
Wow.
See?
Wow.
Ooh.
Now
Oh
that is a
no.
bad turn for the big green here.
I get the feeling he's not running Old Great White as a special attacker, so he is totally neutered right now.
You know, if there was only some like third attacking stat that hadn't been dropped yet that this thing could use, um, he'd really be in business here.
He's gotten Incineroar out. It could fake out something. I mean, it might even just want to rip a Flare Blitz into Old Great White slot. It's never dying to Hatterene.
Oh, we see Gastrodon come out.
Alright, chipping away with the Dazzling
Oh,
Gleam.
Storm Drain proc.
And we get
Really
to switch
interesting.
back in the horse.
I wouldn't
That
be
was actually a
surprised.
really good play.
Yeah, that was a great play. I wouldn't be surprised to see a double protect here. I mean, I'm not sure that both of these Pokemon even have protect. We have only seen 3 moves on Primarina so far.
We could see a Muddy Water, a Surf. I doubt he'd be
Yeah.
running Surf, hit his own thing. Earth Power. I
Water
mean,
gun?
Incineroar, Water Gun. Many things kill this Incineroar. And honestly, even though Old Great White doesn't have stab to hit Luna, he could probably just kill it with a Stomping Tantrum. Any neutral move will kill Luna at this point from
I'll be
after
honest
his
with you.
300 BSD.
I'm thinking that an Icicle Crash probably kills from this range off of that attack stat.
Yeah, that probably does too. It is the last turn of Trick Room, but unless Linnos is going to double protect here or something, I think both those guys are going down.
Commits the
Heavy
Terra.
Slam. Okay, that's neutral. That survives.
Yeah.
Great
Oh,
Terra Water
great read.
defensively
Great
to
Terra
get
Water.
around the Flare Blitz.
Trick Room is gone.
Here you find yourself in a pretty decent position. Both your Pokemon are still pretty healthy. We've got a lot of bulky Pokemon on the field right now. Incineroar's not going to live another hit from the Snotty Grot.
Yes, and if he is running Grass Pledge and Fire Pledge, that becomes a fire move. So he'd have to use just normal Grass Pledge and the Snotty Grot, which is not even that strong and non-stab.
That being said, I would not be surprised to see a parting shot out of Incineroar here into Old Great White. So you can maybe try and get Primarina back on the field. It will eat a water move from Desnati Grot. And then be able to swing an energy
Why
ball
did
into
he
Old
have
Great
to
White
name
next
his
turn.
Pokemon stuff like this? I can't take the Snotty Grot seriously. Yes, I thought the same thing, Turtle. That's what I'm. This is what Nate
There's
sounds
a
like.
Terra Ghost from Petafop.
Reads the Grass Pledge.
He was running Grass Pledge.
Ah, an Assault Vest gets knocked off. Primarina gets back in for free here. And suddenly you're
Unfortunately,
staring down an energy ball.
yeah.
Oh dear. I mean, I know just not PETA Thought is it's non-stab a weak Grass Pledge, but it is quad weak. There's a really good chance it just goes down to it. Energy Ball's going into Old Great White, and then it's up to what's his name? Old Sneaky Slappa? The
Yeah,
Sneaky
the
Slappa?
Sneaky Slappa is in the back, yeah.
Yeah. And he's low. PETA Thought could probably take care of him by himself.
Yeah, I mean, we could. It's really going to be an interesting turn here because if the green can get one of these Pokemon down, Mienshao, ooh, a crit.
Who
I'm not sure
knows?
if it mattered, but that's tough. And we knocked off the Assault Vest, so that Energy Ball is definitely killing now.
Yeah, it was. I think it was probably going down beforehand, but definitely killing post Assault Vest.
Yeah, and now you can only kill one of these Pokemon unless you have close combat that hits both opponents.
I don't even think he has a. He's revealed a move that can hit a Ghost type. He might just be dead
Yeah, he might
by
have just
being
lost.
walled.
You're probably right.
Swing a close combat into Luna and hope for the best.
Maybe he'll target his own Pokemon, so I love the protect here from the Sneaky Slapper.
Well, Grass Pledge, Water Pledge ensures that he dies no matter what. It's gonna turn into the 150 base power move. Yeah, it's over. Dang, that was a tight game.
That was a very tight game. That game 3 was well played from both sides. A lot of really interesting terrors coming out.
Yeah, I mean, if Linus hadn't ran Energy Ball, it could have gone a totally different way. I mean, but that's the razor thin margins that we're stuck playing against now that everyone's so good. Hello. Oh, Linus is here, and the great white squig.
Let's go ahead and talk to Degreen
both
first.
those games at the game 2 and 3, I was like, you know what? It's looking good. I'm feeling good, and then suddenly something changed and everything went downhill.
Yeah, I mean, they were really, really close games. I thought you were winning game 3 until the very, very end.
Yeah, I
Yeah, that
messed up.
yeah, that hurts.
I messed up with the Scizor getting hit by the mystical fire, and I saw the mystical fire. I just forgot about it.
We were wondering
Yeah.
about that.
We were talking about it on comms. We were like, yeah, there's no way that Linnos doesn't doesn't tear water here, knowing that he's revealed Mystical Fire earlier, and then Scizor just dropped, and we're like, oh.
Well, that was what's tripped me up a lot during my matchup with Linnos in general. Was there was a lot of things from like, okay, I know he knows I have this move, but does he Terra here? Do I risk him Terraing and do what I want to do anyway, or do I anticipate the Terra and try and do something else?
Yeah, Terra was absolutely huge in this matchup. I think there's just so many turns where you want to do it, but you're not sure if you should save it. So very volatile.
Yeah,
I
I
am
feel like usually a defensive Terra is the way to go. With Ghost probably being one of the most important because of fake out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Ghost Terra game 3 essentially won you that game as soon as you locked it in, knowing that
yeah,
Mian Shao's in the back
the sneaky slapper couldn't hit it.
unable to hit it.
I only had 2 attacking moves on Mian Shao. I had Fake Out and Close Combat. And then I had Wide Guard and Protect, and I was debating on whether or not I should drop one of those for coverage, but I really wanted both of them, so I just brought both of them.
Yeah, prepping for this was kind of hard because he can do so much with his team. He could go Trick Room or he could Tailwind, and then he's got like 2 fake out users, 2 snatchers. It's crazy the amount of things your team can do.
Yeah, I went through like 3 or 4 different overhauls with my team trying to prep for yours because nothing quite felt just right. And eventually got to the point, I forget who said it. It might have been Drathion or somebody, but he's like, well, you could just ignore speed control entirely and just play the game. Like, you know what? That might be what I have to do because I couldn't outspeed your Tailwind if you brought in Noivern and decided to Tailwind yourself. But at the same time, I couldn't just lead Trick Room because both you having Scizor and then the Terra Ghost Savali, like you could have just one-shot her too. So I had to pretty much play around the fact that I might not get speed control and then try and play from there.
Yeah, I think speed control is not something you want to do against my team specifically because you'll get stuck in the swamp.
So hard to prep
Dude,
for.
dude, the swamp is so hard to prep for, especially because if Grass Pledge goes first, Water Pledge just instantly goes off. They don't both have to go.
Yeah,
and that works in
was
reverse too. So if you Trick Room, I can get it off with Silverly instead.
Yeah, and you had so much pivot potential with the Incineroar. Even if the green here is able to get up his Trick Room, you just bring him in, bring him out, lower the attack stat, get off the fake outs.
That was the one thing I felt comfortable about was just deleting his Incineroar at the start of each game if I had to.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things in this match was Noivern having Frisk, because then
Mhm.
I was like, oh, okay, so he doesn't have a sash or a covert cloak on this guy. I'm good, so I could just fake you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one thing I was looking out for. Linnos, were you planning on using Parting Shot into the Hatterene at all?
No, not into the Hatterene. I I don't really think Hatterene's good if you play her offensively. Because
Well,
my
so
main
the interaction I was looking out for is if he brought Magic Bounce, then Parting Shot would actually force it out and prevent the Trick Room.
really, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
And it's funny now that it was not even on your radar, and that was like our whole.
Yeah, that's why I ran healer because I didn't know about that interaction until he warned me about it. So I was like, well, might be smart to bring it just in case, and can always throw a cloak on there if I need to.
Yeah, I was actually hoping you would run a cloak or something like that on Hatterene, because I could just taunt it.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
I
that was
never got the
I was
chance
worried
to.
about too.
I don't even know what the item on Hatterene was.
I think it was cloak, if I remember right. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, it was cloak, but that's why I couldn't lead it against you, just because I knew I had at least one weakness. Kind of like my match with, gosh, I can't remember if it was Kokosho or Nate, where I led the Hatterene and I thought it was invincible, and the one weakness it had that I didn't account for just wrecked my game. So I was like, you know what? Hatterene just needs to wait before she comes in, because
Right.
if I bring her right out, she's too easy to just kill.
Yeah, I feel like Scissor's the same way. If you just have a fire move, he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where the Terra Water really shores him up.
But so your Glastier's super tanky. I think I hit it with like a dual wing beat and something else, and it only did like 40%, which is crazy.
Yeah, so I don't have any defense investment, although I was considering it at one point. I just have max HP, max attack, and then assault vest. He's just a thick horse.
Wow. Yeah, and
But
a
yeah, when
choice
I wasn't
banded dual
sure,
wing beat.
because originally, when I was prepping with Alex, he had recommended that I run Clear Amulet on him. I was like, well, worst case scenario, if he parting shots and Incineroar, I could always just go hyper defensive and then just not care about it. But we ended up doing like a little hybrid in between. But I
Well,
was thinking about going just pure HP and defense with Assault Vest.
I think it wouldn't have mattered because Glacier was what burns and -1 attack, and it's still like one shot somebody on my team. I don't remember who.
Yeah, because I mean, Heavy Slam doesn't really calculate for um, actual attack power. So that's the nice thing. Like, if I'm ever burned or negative attack or anything like that, as long as it's neutral to steel, I can still, click into it pretty comfortably.
Right.
Yeah, and Goose or Jesse, you have any observations, some questions, something you might have thought about the match?
No, I think you guys have really talked about pretty much everything that I wanted to ask. Goose?
No, I'm good. I
Yeah.
already got to complain about Swamp,
Any
so I'm doing good.
any closing remarks from the two of you, Linnos and Green?
That was actually talking about Swamp. That was one of the things, because originally I wasn't happy with Trick Room Lead. It's like, maybe he won't expect me to bring Tailwind, and I can just do a Tailwind game. And so I did some practice matches with Circadian, and I forgot about the Swamp. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen either.
Yeah, if you tailwind, I could just swamp.
And then use your own Tailwind, which is faster anyway.
Right.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a hard match to prep for sure, man. You played well.
yeah, you two is super close. I think it was any of us could have won that one if there was like one thing that went wrong.
Yeah, there was like I think you missed dual wing beat
Yeah.
on one turn, which I was not expecting at all. I didn't even know that had less than 100% accuracy on it.
It's 95, I think. It's really or 90. It's highly accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like missing a
Just like
pyro
that
ball.
meteor beam I thought would hit in mini, and sure enough, 95% is not 100.
Right. Even though I have victory star, I can still miss.
Yeah, well, like I said, well played to both of you again. It was a very close set. I'd like to thank our commentators, Goose, Alex. Thank you for joining me for our marquee matchup.
Of course.
And I think that will do it with the week 3 marquee. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.